Released in 1974, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a perfect representation of an average day in Texas. Directed by Tobe Hooper, the film follows a group of friends who go on a trip through rural Texas to visit a graveyard. They then arrive at a dilapidated farmhouse which holds something scarier than the average Texan. Cannibalistic Texans. The film was banned in the UK and 11 other countries for being way too extreme. However, is it still as extreme? Is it something that scares the British more than seasoning? Well, let's find out. The film begins with a Star Wars title crawl. We're then told about the events which we're about to witness. We then hear several police reports of grave robbings before we cut to a beautiful shot of modern art. We're then introduced to Dinner, Sally Hardesty, her whiny bitch of her brother Franklin, who is sadly the focus of the movie for the first hour, Jerry, and our couple, Kirk and Pam. They're on a trip because of a recent stint of grave robbings in the area, so Sally wants to make sure that their grandfather hasn't become the story's next art piece. Once they've left the graveyard and are back on the road, they pick up a mentally sane hitchhiker. He tells them about meat before taking a picture of Franklin and cutting himself. Now, I've never been a hitchhiker, but I don't think that's what you're supposed to do. He then cuts Franklin and gets kicked out the van, running something on the van in blood. After their encounter with the absolutely insane hitchhiker, the group arrive at a gas station. They talk with the owner for a bit and he tells them that he's all out of gas. He then tells them to stay put, but in typical stupid horror movie character fashion, they keep going. They then arrive at their old grandfather's place, which is actually a really nice home. And Franklin actually has a moment where you feel bad for him here, as the main reason that he's so whiny and bitchy in the movie is because he feels alone and isn't really enjoying himself as much as the others, which is something many people can relate to.
If I have any more fun today, I don't think I'm going to be able to take it.
Pam and Kirk then ask Franklin about a pool, but when they go to it, it's all dried up. Kirk then notices another house, so they go over looking for gas. Kirk finds a tooth, so he gives it to Pam. That then pisses her off, so she goes to sulk on a swing. Kirk then goes inside and starts hearing some pig noises from the back. He goes to investigate and gets hit over the head with a hammer. Leatherface then does the first of something which will get really overdone in this franchise and closes the sliding door. Pam, who is getting worried about Kirk, gets up, and this is where we get the movie's famous low shot. Pam goes inside the house and into the living room / chicken coop. She slips in some interior design and tries leaving, but Leatherface then grabs her and shoves her on a meat hook while he tends to some dinner prep. Meanwhile, back with the rest of the gang, Jerry decides he's going to go looking for them, so he leaves Sally and Franklin with the van. As the sun sets, Jerry walks towards the farmhouse and he goes inside. He hears some rustling coming from the freezer, and when he opens it, he finds Pam, but Leatherface then finds him, so he gets a hammer to the head and then proceeds to get his skull bashed in. Leatherface then does what I do when the voices kick in and has a silent mental breakdown. And it makes sense, because there's just a bunch of annoying hippies like Jerry entering his house. I mean, he might need to call an exterminator. Hey everyone, just letting you know we're about halfway through the video now, so if you are enjoying, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video, because it would really help me out. And let me know some movies that you'd like me to review in the comments below. But yeah, back to the video. Back at the van, Sally is getting worried. Says he wants to go looking for the others, but Franklin, of course, being Franklin, wants to go with her. So he goes with. However, while they're going through the woods, Leatherface pops out of absolutely bloody nowhere and turns Franklin's inside into mincemeat. Sally then screams in pain and I scream out of happiness as Leatherface brutally murders Franklin. Sally then runs from Leatherface as he chases her. She arrives at the house and quickly leaves as the chase continues. She eventually arrives at the same gas station as earlier. Leatherface then suddenly disappears and the gas station owner tells her to calm down. He then goes to get his truck. He returns with the truck, but also a sack. He then grabs a broom and starts beating Sally with it in a really mean scene that just really makes you hate him. The cook then shoves her into his sack and he puts her in his truck. He then drives back to the farmhouse and just as he gets there, he picks up the hitchhiker. He also sees a result of Sally's earlier escape.
Look what your brother did to that door!
Wait till you see the window. He then proceeds to beat Leatherface and the hitchhiker before sending him to go get Grandpa for dinner. Sally's then tied to a chair but passes out when Grandpa starts sucking on her finger to get some deliciously tasting blood. And as she wakes up, she is at dinner with the rest of the family. Leatherface and the hitchhiker taunt her, and the cook then decides that it's time for Grandpa to kill her, because he's the best at killing. Grandpa grabs the hammer and... oh, hang on. Grandpa grabs the... Leatherface helps him grab the hammer and hits Sally over the head. Once, and twice, and never mind, he dropped it again. Sally then takes that moment to escape, and the hitchhiker and Leatherface are quick in pursuing her. However, a truck then comes out of absolutely bloody nowhere and kills the hitchhiker. Leatherface then appears, and the driver and Sally run out the other door. I don't know why they didn't just drive away, but yeah, they get out the other door. The truck driver throws a wrench at Leatherface, which causes him to fall over and cut his leg. This is where we get the famous Leatherface limp. Another truck then appears, and Sally gets to the back. Leatherface does his famous chainsaw dance, and the driver, don't question it, he hid in the bush or something. And that's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's an incredible start to this franchise with a really arthousey feel. Leatherface is a really terrifying villain, not just for his size, but because of how damn weird he is. I mean, only he can make pig noises and murder someone at the same time. Talk about unique. His design is also really amazing and creepy. The film has a good final girl in Sally Hardesty, who runs away from Leatherface 3 times in this movie. She survives each time, and the ending shot of her laughing hysterically is one of the best in this film, and that's saying something because this film has some amazing shots. The film itself also, despite having a reputation for being really brutal, as a kid I thought this film was one of the most terrifying looking movies and vowed to never watch it. That aged really well. It's actually not that bad, with the gore being limited to just some blood sprays and of course Leatherface's mask. And speaking of the masks, they're really cool. All 3 of them are different. They show a different side to Leatherface, from his butcher outfit to a more fancy-looking dinner suit. Ultimately, I give this movie a 10 out of 10. It is a brutal horror film, not just gore-wise, as this original film doesn't focus on the gore. It really focuses much more on beautiful artsy shots, which are really beautiful, I must say. I can't say the same about some of the sequels, but this original film is great. Like, it's definitely a landmark in horror, which I highly recommend. But what do you guys think about the film? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all next time.